Anyway, this is super random. I am going to pack my drapes a bit, so you know, everything is content. So yeah, just top up a little bit. The other day, an auntie that I'm close to says that, wow, your makeup too light, cannot see. So不听老人言，吃亏在眼前. So when she said that my makeup not heavy enough, I listened to her. Okay, so I'm gonna pack up my drapes because it's been a little bit messy. So I really do need to pack it up like a little bit more neatly. Okay. Make sure everything's okay. I might need to bring it with me for the event. It's okay. It's okay. So, one thing about when I went to Japan to learn this like color analysis, framework analysis kind of things, right, is that I think it's part of like the Japanese culture kind of thing that everything has to be very neat. You cannot have things like lying around, your drapes in a mess, things like that. They are very particular about keeping things neat and very organized. And unfortunately, I am not so particular. So once in a while, I need to take a bit of time to like force myself to clean it up. And well, I've been busy with like the whole video editing kind of stuff, so haven't really had the time to go and deal with it. So this is a good opportunity, like content and organizing my stuff at the same time. Okay, so what should I talk about? Let's talk about my process, like my experience doing the course in Japan. So what I did was actually I did the course via Zoom for, I think it was like 2.5 months of Zoom classes, and then after that I had to go to Japan for the practical classes. And wow, how do I put it? It was very overwhelming when I first went for the practical classes, because there's so many drapes and you had to like really look at the effects on the face, which at that point, you know, when you just started, it's like, where's the effect? Where's the color? I couldn't see the difference, you know. Or at least that first few rounds when I tried, right? All I could tell is like, okay, this person is more of a warm tone person, this person is more of a cool tone person. You just couldn't really see the differences as easily as they made it out to be. So what happened is, in the practical class, what we did is we got split into groups of 3, and then we did like a little bit of a round robin kind of thing, where it's like 2 people do analysis on one person, and then the instructor will come around and like demonstrate for us, like, okay, before she even demonstrates, she'll ask us like, okay, what type do you think she is? Why do you think she's that type? They require explanation, like, oh, this color made her look a little bit darker, this color made her look a bit brighter, things like that. We needed like proper excuse. We needed like proper reasons to why we think somebody is of a certain type. And to us as newbies, right, like literally that was our first day touching the drapes. It was so stressful. We were like, what are we supposed to be looking out for? I can't see the difference. Ah! You know, and we were also stressed about it because one of the most, how do I say it? The most common thing we were chatting about is like, this is so tough. How do we even do it? We have no confidence about like doing the analysis ourselves. It's so difficult. And all that the instructors could have told us is simply that you will get used to it. You will figure it out. You just need to practice a lot. And she's right. She is right. So we just needed a lot of practice. And we had so many sessions of those round robin. Like, the interesting about this course, right, is that we had the course itself came with practical classes, like 2 practical class for each course. So there's 2 for personal colour, there's 2 for fashion framework analysis, and then on top of that they had like extra practical classes that is already like in the course fee. You can just sign up and register for the classes and just turn up. So the very good thing about being a foreigner is that I could just like email the admin staff like, hey, I'm going to be in Japan during this period to this period. Can you fit in as many practical classes for me as possible? And they were very nice about it. And yeah, so whenever I would go to Japan now, it's really just classes non-stop, which is not a bad thing. So what happened is that I actually did the course in December 2022. No, I went to Japan in December 2022, and then I came back in January 2023. At that time, I still felt like I wasn't confident enough to do it yet. So, okay, also another reason is because fashion framework analysis requires you to look at the body line, right? And the period that I was there was winter. So the clothes we were in versus the clothes that I'll be analysing people in Singapore is quite different. So I told myself that, you know what, I have to go back one day, like when the weather's hotter, just so that clothing choices wise is a bit closer to what we have in Singapore, and it makes it a lot easier when I want to do analysis, right? So I wasn't confident. I wanted a change in season or like change in temperature before I felt like I could actually do something like this. So I actually went back to Japan in September 2023, practice, before I finally felt like, alright, I think I'm confident. I think I can do this now. And that brings me here. So I hear people going for like color analysis class that's like 2 days, and I'm like, wait, how do you even feel like you're confident enough to do it with just a 2-day class? I don't understand. It took me like practical classes wise, I would think I took at least 5-6 classes of like non-stop round robin before I felt like I was able to do this. Yeah, I'm just like, this is not easy. It really isn't something easy to do. Yeah. But I'm still glad I did it anyway, because like, you know, the very unique thing about Japan versus like say the Singapore culture is that they are so meticulous about the little details. So say when I went to learn, right, they were very particular about the lighting conditions. The lighting conditions in which we do the analysis. Like, it has to be white light. It has to be of a certain like brightness. I can show you the textbook. I can show you the textbook. Wait, is this the right one? Yes, this is the right one. They were very particular. Where's the lighting? Oh yeah, here. Can you see this? They are so particular about the lighting conditions. Like, oh, it has to be like this kind of lighting for the most accurate results. And on top of that, right, let me tell you this. On top of that, they were very particular. It's all the little things like the analyst cannot wear any long necklaces, long accessories when we're doing the analysis, because when we bend over the client, the necklace might dangle in front of them, and that is not very pleasant. They were very particular about when we tie the cape on them, when we clip their hair, we have to be gentle, we have to prep them beforehand, like, oh, I'm gonna be doing this, tell me if it's comfortable. When we put a drape on them, they'll be like, you have to make sure that you're not putting it too high that it's like strangling them. When you put your hand on like the body parts, you cannot make them feel uneasy. It has to be very light touch. Super particular. And you know what's the most particular thing? They say that the color analyst cannot wear bright colored clothes for color analysis. And I think it made a lot of sense. So what happens is that when we are doing the analysis for the client, right, usually the client's head is around our body, this area. And we are both facing the mirror. So what happens is that if we are wearing bright colored clothes, like say for example this, and the client's head is here in the mirror, it doesn't matter if there's drape below, the color that they'll be seeing around their head is whatever color that we're wearing. So certain things really made sense, like the whole don't wear bright colored things, the lighting condition and all that. And they also told us, like, say for example, if the lighting condition's not perfect that day, how can we work around it, which was very useful, because we can't possibly control lighting conditions all the time, right? So it's interesting. It's very interesting. It was a very interesting experience. Am I following all of them right now? No. I think Singapore is like we are a little bit more casual compared to Japan in terms of like cultural rules and things like that. So I don't follow everything. I follow the things that will kind of like, you know, affect the results of the analysis. But if it doesn't 100% affect the analysis, I do a looser version of it, a more casual version of it. Like, alright, I'm going to put the drape on you, I'm going to put the cape on you, tell me if it's uncomfortable, blah blah blah. Whereas they'll be like, oh, I'm going to put the drape on you, might be a bit da da da, let me know if it's uncomfortable. You know that very soft tone that we Singaporeans don't usually do? Yeah, I don't do that. But it was a pretty interesting experience. And actually the most fun part, right, when we went to Japan is that once we sat down in class, what the instructor did was actually she did the analysis for us one by one on the side, which she needed to, because like that's how she knows our type. And then when we do the round robin, she's able to like have a database of sorts of like, oh, this student is this type, that student is that type, that sort of thing. So it was quite fun. And apparently I was a very tricky one to analyze, because like I had two instructors do the analysis on me to double check if I'm the correct type, and they were still not sure, which is why they actually got a third instructor to come and analyze me for color analysis. For the framework one, the instructor wasn't sure too, so she actually got the founder of the methodology to like take a second look, double check, you know, the answer. So apparently I'm quite a tricky one to analyze, and my classmate called me the like trick question. Yeah, it was interesting because like apparently I was so hard to analyze that all the drapes, like the instructor was pulling out all kinds of drapes that were not in like the standard procedure. But it was fun. It's fun to see instructors like scratch their head over what's your type, and it makes us feel like a bit better. Like, oh, if they're struggling to do even for us, then like it's okay, we don't have to stress so much about doing it for other people, because some people are just harder to analyze. Yeah. One thing I really love about the class was that, right, it wasn't just a simple like, oh, she's this type, can you like look through and like see for yourself why exactly is she this type kind of thing. It's getting warm. Okay. So what they did, was first for each round robin session, they will ask like, okay, which type do you think she is? Why do you think she's this type? Is there a particular color that made you think she's this type? Is there a like specific like drape number, because we have numbers over here? Is there a specific drape number that like make you think that she's a certain type? So we had to be very, how do I say? We had to be very clear about it, and that's not my strength. Of course, it's not not my strength. Data is not my strength. But what's interesting is that then she takes this color drapes out and she demonstrates on the person and goes like, okay, can you I see what you meant, that like this particular color makes the person look a bit darker, not so flattering. Then she goes into like, okay, for this particular like drape, let's look at her eyes. Is the contrast of her eyes stronger with this color or with this color? Does her face look sharper with this color or this color? So it is quite eye-opening the way she does it. And I'm like, oh wait, I actually see it now. Yeah, it's really quite interesting. So because of that, right, I am very influenced by that in my sessions. Usually I'll be like pointing out to my clients like, oh wait, okay, can you see that this color like makes your eyes pop? Can you see that your skin tone just got darker just by wearing this color? Things like that. And then they'll be like, oh yeah, actually now I see it. So when people say that, you know, like color analysis is very subjective, I just want to say that it's not. It's not. When you have very specific conditions, like controlled conditions, like what our school teaches us, when you are very careful to point out the differences to the clients themselves, even they themselves can see the differences. And I think the nicest possible thing about this is that when you do an analysis and someone takes your advice and actually like wears that color and then receives so much compliments for it, I'm like, so nice. This is what I'm living for, yeah. Yes. Color analysis is a very interesting, it's a very interesting kind of like science without much of a data, but I don't keep data, I don't like data, so that's really not my thing. Alright, done with spring. Let's do summer. Should I do summer first or should I do winter first? Maybe I should do winter first. And I think one very interesting thing that I learned when doing this color analysis is that surprisingly, a lot of us Asians look like we have yellow skin. But actually a lot of us are more cool tones than warm tones. Seriously. And there are a lot of things out there that's like saying, oh, if you have brown hair, if you have brown eyes, if you have green veins, you are more of a warm tone person, which is absolutely not true. It is not true. So what happened is that before I went to Japan to do this, right, I actually went for a color analysis before in Singapore by a Japanese lady, and she actually said that like I'm a spring type, which is warm tone, which I am not. I am not. You see, that's the thing. I might give people the impression that I'm warm tone because I carry off bright colors very well, like wearing a bright orange, bright reds, those look very good on me. I also have brown eyes, and like my hair's not like completely black, so it throws people off. And that's another reason why I think my instructors found me a little hard to analyze, and my classmates also. Like seriously, when I was doing the course and all of us are new, like I think only 5% of the people actually got me right, because apparently I'm like a bit tricky. Like I handle bright colors better than dark colors and light colors. And a lot of these drapes here, for example, these standard test drapes, right? The winter colors are more for darker colors rather than bright colors. And that's why they actually had to go into these big drapes to like get my color analysis result. Yeah. So by the way, I have 130 drapes here that I have to organize today. And I'm taking my time to do it. Okay. What else is there? Some people ask if like, you know, what if I do color analysis and then I found out that I'm not suitable for this color, but I love this color? Does that mean I have to like give up on the color completely, or do I have to like, you know, never wear the color again? And my answer is always no. Everybody have preferences, right? Like, for example, for me, I sometimes like to wear light blue, those pastel blues that don't work for me. I sometimes like to wear cream, a little bit of beige, or like brown beige, like this color. Sometimes I like to wear this kind of colors, this kind. And obviously I'm not a summer type. So what happens is that by knowing your type, you know what is the effect that certain colors can have on you. And then what we do is we adjust for that. Sounds a bit cheap, stay with me. So what I do, for example, is that if I wear a certain color that I know will wash me out a lot, say for example summer colors, they will add a tinge of grey to my features because it's that mutedness of the color that I cannot handle. I will actually put a bit more blush, just so that the grey cannot show up. Make sense? And if I'm wearing a warm tone item, I know that it's gonna give my face a bit of a yellow tinge. I go with more lavender color character on my face. Of course, autumn colors I try not to touch at all because those really age me a lot. But for like say the spring warm colors, the summer colors, more lavender color character, more blush. That's how I correct for it. When it comes to black, I'm a winter type that don't suit black very well. It washes me out, or rather, it causes a lot of harsh shadows on my face. Like a lot. It looks like I went way overboard with the contour without putting any contour on. It is scary. So what I do is I just have to make sure that I actually have a full face of makeup when I wear black, with like lipstick and everything, because otherwise it's gonna wash me out. I'm gonna look like a ghost without makeup on. So you see, the thing is that you don't have to avoid the colors that don't work for you. You just have to make it work in a way in your favor. Makeup is one, Another one I do is actually like hair color, accessories and all that around the face. So for example, if I want to wear a shirt, for example, that's not my color, I go with a color that works for me on the inside, so that there's a bit of distance between it and my face. Does that make sense or not? I think, okay, anyway, it makes sense to me. So like my Chinese New Year outfit for this year, technically that color is not for me. It is a summer color. So I am going to have to go with a heavier hand when it comes to blush, cheek color. But it's fine. It's not about just like picking the colors that work for you. It's about knowing what colors work for you and how to work around the colors that don't. It's not meant to be restrictive, it's meant to help you have more fun when it comes to dressing up. Yeah. Another thing that this lady friend of mine mentioned is actually that I wear a bit too much light colors, which makes sense because actually I suit brighter colors better. Yeah, so that's something I have to look for, just to brighten me up a little bit. Okay, let's see. What else? Never mind, continue. Okay. One interesting thing when I was studying in Japan that I don't think a lot of people faced is that actually I was the first Singaporean to go to the school in Japan to learn. And what happened is that like, how do I say? I'm not just the first Singaporean, I'm the first Southeast Asian, I'm the first English-speaking individual to go. And because of that, what happened was that I had to ask very specific questions that they were not prepared for. For example, like in our culture, obviously there's like Malays, there's Indians, we have Chinese traditional outfits, we have like the kebayas, the saris, ladies with hijab. So I was asking them a lot of questions, like say for color analysis, if the lady is wearing a hijab and not comfortable taking it off, then what can we do? Is just a black hijab good enough? And they're like, yes, that's fine. So we can actually work around it. And I think another big concern I had was because framework analysis is about analyzing your body line and what actually looks good on you versus what doesn't look so good on you. And because of that, I had to ask questions like, say for example, if this lady is a certain height, how should she style her hijab to make it work better for her? Like, how does it apply to the kebayas? How exactly does it apply to the saris? And in short, the answer was actually pretty straightforward. It's about where it ends. The material. Whether it accentuates the body line or give it a bit more of like a camouflage, which I found it very interesting. Of course, I didn't go in empty-handed and just ask them like, so how to choose. I went in, what I did was that when I was in Japan, I just used the night time, right, to actually come up with a little document of like, okay, hijab, different ways of styling the hijab, kebayas, this few pictures, saris, these few pictures, and then like I went to ask the instructors like, am I categorizing it correctly? And they said yes. I think they were really pretty caught off guard because nobody came to them with this kind of questions before. What I know is that at that time when I went for the class, right, there were people from Taiwan, people from China who actually went to learn with their translators and all that. The Koreans went after I went. Yeah, they went after I went, so they also went with a translator. So what I had to do is that after I went to Japan, I came back all ready to start. I actually had to translate a lot of the materials into English to be able to use them. And say, for example, things like the fashion framework analysis, it's not as kokakushindan in Japan, which if you do a direct translation, it's skeletal analysis. But it sounded very scientific for me. Like, it sounded very scientific to me. It sounded like a science experiment. It doesn't sound like it has anything to do with fashion. So I had to think hard about what to call it because I'm the first one to do it in English, so I have to think of an English name for it, right? I know the Koreans, some of them call it skeletal analysis. So once they make it like a big name, I can switch to skeletal analysis. But because I did it first, I call it fashion framework analysis first, yes. Yeah, maybe one day I should do one on framework analysis. Okay. Oh, this is taking forever. Okay. This is 6. Ooh, sticker coming out. So actually, when it comes to like ooh, 10, 13. You know, usually when it comes to these drapes, I actually cover it with a cloth. Because I'm so worried about the drapes, like, you know, the coloring because of all the sun. So I usually cover it up with a cloth. Because these drapes are expensive. Any guess how much it costs? This whole set. It's not cheap. It's really not cheap. Which is why I need to protect it. Okay. Okay. So now I just need to organize it, straighten it out. Some people ask, you know, like, why did I go into this? Because if you know me, you don't. I understand. My background is it's unique. Like a lot of the analysts, like image consultants I know out there, they actually come from a fashion related background, which is like mad respect to that because fashion is so competitive. But my background is a little bit different. So I used to teach. I used to teach little kids, special needs kids actually. And that was what I did. That was my full-time job. But also, it was when I was teaching that I suddenly started researching about all this like color analysis, framework analysis kind of thing. And the reason was I was very stressed about work. I was very, very stressed. Reason being, so when I first started teaching, right, I actually lost 5 kg in 6 months. Because the job was pretty strenuous. So I was like, oof, okay, lost weight. Alright, deal with it, right? It's not a bad thing anyway. So it was fine. And then I was informed that like I needed to go for my advanced diploma, which means I will have to do full-time work and part-time studies. And I'm like, wait, if just working itself is so tiring enough that I'm losing so much weight, add part-time studies on top of that, I am going to be pretty drained. I won't be able to do anything at all, like outside work and study, right? So I told myself like, okay, before we do that, let's do like a cleanup. Like I did a massive declutter. I went into minimalism big time, and I just did like this massive decluttering. Within that 1 week, that 1 week, I just went crazy. I did a declutter. I threw out so much stuff. I reduced my wardrobe by a lot. And it was fine. Like, yeah, it was a pretty life-changing experience, because like suddenly it's like, whew, the house is clean and organized. I don't have to like struggle to find my things, though technically I never did, because it's an organized mess. So it was nice while it lasted. The calmness, I mean. Then my brain started on its like never-ending loop on like thinking about things, right? So I started thinking like, if I can only have this many stuff, are all these things that I kept the most suitable for me? Especially when it comes to clothes, because at home it's like no matter what you're using, nobody cares, right? Nobody's looking at you. But when you're out, you kind of like want to look good, And if the things that you ended up keeping are not the things that technically work for you, then why keep it, right? So that's when I started wondering, really wondering about like, what are the colors that works for me? What are the kind of like designs and like cutting that work for me? Are the things I kept really the best for me? So I started researching, and at that time, right, I just finished studying for my JLPT, just finished the exam, so it's like, the Japanese is still fresh in my head. So I started doing a lot of research in Japanese, partially also because I started decluttering thanks to Marie Kondo. So I started researching in Japanese, like the different body types, different colors, the different seasons, that kind of thing. And I think it's partially because on the Japanese websites, all this information are so accessible. Like say, before I even went to learn all this proper, right, the principal already actually have a YouTube channel that explains all this, which even includes like a self-analysis kind of video. So I found those very, very helpful, and yeah, I watched those a lot. And because of that, that's why when I heard about this and like they're having Zoom classes, I'm like, hey, perfect chance, let's go. Because I've already watched so much of her on YouTube, you know. So that's how I stumbled upon it, like minimalism, and then what really suits me, and then actually learning about all these things. It is quite different from the roots of most image consultants, and I think because my background, how I went into it is from minimalism. I don't like to encourage people to buy things. I like to encourage people to, you know, first look at what you have, and then you decide on what you need to get. Yeah, don't buy it just because somebody tells you to. Don't buy it just because I tell you to. If you don't need it, you don't need it. Okay. Yeah. If you don't need it, don't get it. You know, some people get the impression that like autumn types don't have bright colours. Not true. Autumn types have bright colours like this. Autumn type have light colours as well. They have actually some pretty nice colours. Just that they don't work for me. Yeah. Okay. So, how can color analysis benefit a person? Very clear things are makeup, right, for ladies, hair color, jewelry color, clothes too. So, for example, for guys, when they come to me, I encourage guys to come to me if you're going to invest in a suit. For some, even a tailored suit. Because if you're going to invest so much money in an item, it's best if the color works for you. Personal opinion. Don't have to take it if you don't believe it. And I think for guys especially, the impact is actually even stronger. Because for ladies, right, in any case, we can just like sort of mask it a little bit with makeup. Guys don't. So it's like not wearing the right color can actually make a very big impact on guys rather than the ladies. Oh, why is there a winter here? Yeah, this is why I need to check and organize. Yeah. So I do think that wearing the right color for guys is very important. A lot more important than you think. especially since like their fashion options, their fashion choices are like so limited. It's just basically a shirt, a t-shirt, a pants, sometimes a jacket, that's it. So it's even more crucial that you get the right colors. I think also like because guys are a bit more of a minimalist than ladies, having a wardrobe full of the right colors can make your life so much easier. Or at least that's how I felt. Yeah. Okay. What else is there? In terms of special occasions, weddings. Okay. So this is a little bit strange, but I would say that if you're getting married, right, and you're getting a traditional wedding dress, the white colors, and you're getting like a traditional wedding dress, the white color ones, I would say that actually framework analysis will actually be more helpful compared to a color analysis. Reason being, right, when it comes to white wedding dress, basically there's only two options. Warm white or cool white. That's it. Of course, by knowing your personal color, you can decide on the makeup colors that you want to have and things like that. That would be helpful. And of course, overall, wearing the right tone dress, right tone accessories are still very, very important. But you see, that's not everything to it. When it comes to wedding dress, how the overall effect will be like. Actually, the material and the cutting is more important than the actual color. So for example, like what kind of materials you should choose. How thick should the material be? High waist, low waist, mid waist? Do you want to show your shoulders? Do you want it beaded? What kind of train you like? All these are actually a lot more affected by framework analysis rather than personal color analysis. So for example, I have a friend who just got married. What happened is that before she came to me, she actually went to 5 bridal shops to try on their dresses. 5 shops. And say for example, if she spent like 2 hours per shop, she already spent 10 hours trying on dresses. And that's like an estimate. She came to me and then I told her like, you're suitable for this kind of materials and this kind of colors. Okay, so for her she was like, oh, okay, I'm suitable for like, oh, this kind of color, like cool white, right? So she's like, oh, okay, that's good information to know. Oh, battery's dying. Yeah. Ooh. Can you read? Okay. So she's just like, oh, the color aspect is a good information for her to know. But when I told her like, okay, when it comes to wedding dress, you're more suitable for this kind of design, this kind of materials, like the sturdier materials and things like that. And then she's like, oh yeah, actually I figured it out from trying so many wedding dresses. She figured it out. But actually, she could have figured it out in like minutes if she came to me first and saved that 10 hours trying on dresses. So you see, the thing is that I get it. A lot of people think that like this kind of analysis services are like so expensive. Personal shopping, whew, so expensive. Who wants to invest this kind of money into like this kind of services, right? And I think different people, different needs, right? I have met people who cannot figure out what suits them. They will go shopping and they'll be like, I don't know what to buy. They will try on so many pieces and they will still be like, I don't know. Should I get this? Should I get that? And they just go away feeling like so unsatisfied with whatever they bought. And ended up like, you know, not liking what they bought, and in the end it's like money wasted. It's really not worth it. So it's like you make an initial investment to really figure out what suits you, and then for the rest of your life you don't have to worry anymore. You know what suits you, and like shopping becomes a breeze. It's just the initial investment that's a bit scary. But we all have to start somewhere, right? So what happens is that, say for example, if I go personal shopping with someone, with a client, right? Usually, I would say about 60% of the items that she tries on are usually things that suits her really well. 60%. Whereas if they go shopping on their own, usually I don't know about how much. For those who know themselves not too badly, who know themselves pretty well, maybe 50%. Those who don't know themselves very well, maybe 20%. So it's, yeah, how do I put it? Think about all the time you save from trying on the stuff that don't work for you. Think about all the money you will save from not buying things that won't suit you. Especially since things are getting more expensive now, right? Can you imagine like buying a makeup palette that doesn't work for your skin? Those things are not cheap. Are they? They're not cheap, right? So funny thing is, up until now, yes, up until now, my sisters still don't really understand what suits them, which is why every single time when we go out, I end up being their personal shopper of sorts. Free personal shopper. They should bring me clients. Alright. That's autumn. Whew, still have to line them. I'm tired. Can I take a break? Let's take a break. Let's take a break. My throat hurts. so much. And I can't even touch my drapes yet because my hands are wet. When I say they are particular, they are really particular. Like, we have to sanitize our hands before we touch the drapes and things like that. Hands still wet. Okay. What's happening is that I'm going Penang in June because my sister's getting married, and we are discussing if like there will be anybody who wants to do color analysis and framework analysis in Malaysia, because then I can just like bring my barang along and just set up and do a few sessions there, right? We're trying to figure out if there's a market for it. Yeah. So trying to do a bit of like marketing kind of thing right now. Do you think anyone will be interested? How I did yeah, Malaysia. I mean, it's a pretty interesting thing, isn't it? Because like, I am the only Southeast Asian doing this, trained from the actual school. So fun stuff. Yeah, I am very interested to like travel to other Southeast Asian countries if there's a demand for it, because like, hey, it's exciting stuff, and like the information that I have on hand is so different from all this like Western style stuff, and like from the school itself, it's like there's no other Southeast Asian trying to figure out like what color suits, what kind of like way to style hijab, how the kabaya can fit on like different frame types kind of thing. So it's fun, it's interesting. I think there will be a demand. I need to figure out how to market it. So if there are brands who are interested in collaborating also, I would love to do that. Yeah. Contact me. Let's collaborate. Alright, let's get this all nice and clean. Nice and clean, nice and straight. Autumn time. Okay, last one, summer. Summer. Okay, wait, this one first. Give me a shock. Okay. 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 It's alright. It's okay if I look a bit slanted. You know. It's alright. Okay. Last one, summer. Do you know? Okay, when I went to Japan, right, they were saying that about 1/3 of the Japanese are actually summer type, which is interesting, isn't it? Summer is very nice colors. They're very soft pastel colors. Oh, my throat hurts. Why does my throat hurt so much? I am very okay, I'm looking forward to going back to Japan to, you know, skill up, learn more. Because right now, like, the school that I went to, right, they actually came up with this thing called a 48 fashion color. So I'm looking forward to actually going back to learn that. So what they did is that, why 48 color, right, is, you know, personal color, there's the four types, 12 types, 16 types, right? So what they did is actually 16 types equals the 4 seasons split into 4 different types, which is something like what fashion, the 48 type fashion color is about. So what they do is there's 4 types in each season times 3, which is the 3 frame types. So it is actually a combination of personal color and framework analysis. So it's very interesting in the sense that they not only tell you which season you belong to, but they are very focused on like which particular shades will make your skin glow the best. They call it charm color. And then of course, how to coordinate the color to work best for you. So I am very curious about that. I do want to go back and learn that. There's also another thing that they have that I've been wanting to attend, which is this thing called the Bikao balance, which is your face balance, your facial balance. So what they do is that actually, if I didn't remember wrongly, there's 16 types. Yeah, about like how your facial features are spread out on your face, and then according to that, like how you should do your makeup. So it becomes a more complete kind of like transformation in a sense. So I do want to go and learn that and then add that to my list of services. Not at the moment, but I will go and do that within this year. Yeah. I aim to go and do it within this year. Currently it's been it's been an interesting experience. Like say, I've attended, after attending color analysis and framework analysis in Japan, I actually came back to Singapore. I've been doing this for about a year, a little more than a year now. I also attended a course on makeup, so I'm able to do some basic makeup for my clients, especially for them to see how the color can look on their face based on their type. So these are some of the things that I'm providing right now. On top of that, I also do personal shopping, of course, where we can choose, like, you want to buy clothes, you want to buy makeup, you want to buy shoes. We can do all of that. You want to buy jewelry, that's fine as well. And something like that I think might be a little bit more unique to me is that I'm doing wardrobe consultation and wardrobe decluttering. So what I actually do is that I go to your place, I look at your wardrobe. If you are interested in decluttering, you can take everything out and just sort them into the piles you want to keep, the piles you want to throw, the piles you want to donate. And then after that, the items that suit you but you don't know how to style, we can actually, like, I will actually style them for you. You can try it out, put it on, and we can even match it with like shoes and jewelries that you have to create complete looks for you based on the items you already have in your wardrobe. If you don't want to do the decluttering, we can just pick out the pieces that suit you and just do a styling session from there. Yeah, so there are different things I can do. Yeah. What I also noticed is that, I've been doing this like a little more than a year right now, right? What I've noticed is that consultation sessions on its own is not very powerful, it's not impactful enough. Like, the transformation is not complete. Because usually when someone comes for analysis, and then I tell them like, okay, you suit this kind of colors, you suit this kind of styles, and most commonly what I hear is that, this will suit me or not? This kind of thing suits me or not? I need to check with you again. So it's a bit sad, I think, like not quite complete in a sense, which is why I am actually doing like a bit of a change in my services. So rather than just a one-time consultation, color analysis, framework analysis, done, I am looking at doing more of like a complete kind of package where, of course, if you want, we can still do the analysis, fashion analysis only. So color analysis, framework analysis, that's it. Tier 1. On top of that, I'm going to offer additional packages, say a 1-month package, which will include, of course, personal color analysis, framework analysis, and then on top of that, 4 hours of face-to-face sessions. And these 4 hours can be, say, up to you. 2 hours of a wardrobe session, 2 hours personal shopping session, 3 hours wardrobe session, 1 hour personal shopping session. It's up to you. And then on top of that, for 1 month, I am on call. So if you have any questions, you can text me. If you happen to be shopping and you want to do a video call, you can. Just let me know ahead of time, and I might have to reject you if you don't tell me ahead of time lah. But you can contact me anytime for this 1 month, so we can do like a full transformation rather than a one-time analysis and that's it. I am also going to offer a 3-month package where I'm on call for 3 months, and instead of just 4 hours of face-to-face time, you're going to get 8 hours of face-to-face time with me. We can go shopping, we can go wardrobe decluttering, we can do all sorts of things. Yes, so we can make it like a full transformation. In fact, I can even go to the hair salon with you if you want, like give recommendation on like hair color, hair style kind of thing. So I can do that. Yes, so this is the package that I am going to be introducing this year. Do let me know if you're interested. Like, okay, I that's the thing. I don't know, how does it sound to you guys? Is it actually like attractive? Or is it like, okay, it sounds interesting, but I don't know, kind of thing. Okay, I'm actually getting really tired. The light is very hot. I want to go home. I'm gonna go home. Finish this up and I'm gonna go home. After this, I'm gonna take a break. And then I got more things to do. Yay! Yeah, the thing about doing all this like social media stuff is that I have video editing to do. Yay! Tired. Okay, let's just align this and then I'm gonna go and rest. Ooh, wait. The 1 month package I was talking about, I need to test it out. So I am going to open up 2 slots, 2 complimentary slots for people to experience it for free. To get the slot, ooh, there's one here today. Oh crap. So yes, I'm gonna open it up to 2 people to do it for free. To sign up for the giveaway. You can follow me on Instagram and share. No, you just follow me and comment in the post. Why would you like to go through this 1-month transformation journey with me? And then I will choose based on how convincing your reason is, and yeah, then I'll contact you and we can arrange a time to get it started. So I'm done. We'll go and put it up. So if you're interested, please sign up. And I'm looking forward to seeing all your response. And I'm so excited to be working with some of you in transforming you and your life. Like, how do I put it? Some people think that it's not, looks are not that important and there's no real need to invest a lot in your looks. But what I think is that you don't need to invest a lot in your looks. But you still do need to invest some time and effort into it if you want to look good. And if you invest your time with the right people, you can save a lot of time when it comes to like improving the way you look. You can save a lot of time on looking, on like trying to look. Maybe next I should share some tips on like how to look good. Glow up. How to glow up. Okay. And I'm done for today. Thank you for watching. Subscribe. Nah, it's okay. You don't have to subscribe if you don't want to. I have a few more videos planned. I'm gonna leave this video largely uncut on YouTube because editing videos are a pain. And I talked way too much. So I hope it was useful. If you're looking for snippets of whatever I was talking about here, you can probably find it if you follow me on IG. I will be posting mostly there. So yeah, thank you. Bye. I'm so tired.